What is a house hack? Welcome to video 3 of our course on live-in flips. I'm going to talk about a house hack and what that means relative to a live-in flip. A live-in flip, I could say, is kind of a type of house hack, but house hacking is trying to figure out how can you live for free or at a lower cost than normal. And this can mean getting roommates, like you're buying a 4-bedroom place and you rent out 3 of the rooms or even 4 of the rooms and you live in the basement. Or you're buying a multifamily house and the rents from the other units are paying for yours. To define a multifamily property, we're talking about a duplex, a triplex, a quad. You might have a house with an auxiliary unit or maybe another space that you can rent out. If you go above 4 units, you're talking commercial property, all the lending changes, but you can get into a multifamily property with 5% down. They keep changing all the loan rules, but you still can. They have FHA loans as well that you can use to get into multifamily property. So you can get low money down getting into residential size multifamily. I've helped multiple people do this. I helped a guy down in Wilmington, Delaware. He bought a triplex. He can live in one of the units for 50 cents a month. I helped another guy in Royersford, Pennsylvania. He bought a big quad. The 4th unit was kind of a little rough. It did flood. But he got a heck of a deal on that and it made a ton of money. And I think he lives relatively for free, I would say, at this point. So it can be done. We've helped people do it. And it's been being done for a long time. And I actually want to bring in my colleague Scott. He's one of my teammates to talk about his house hack that he did back in the 80s. All right, I'm here with Scott Darling. So Scott is on my team and is an awesome, very experienced realtor and real estate investor. You've got a lot of
properties.
A lot of rental properties at this point. But when you got started, your first thing, what did you do?
Well, it wasn't on purpose. So I had been renting an apartment for $600 a month. Now, this is a long time ago.
What year? What's the year?
1985.
Okay.
I was renting for $600 a month, and I decided I was going to buy a townhouse, and my mortgage was going to be $630. So I asked my roommate, I said, do you want to move over into the new place? And it was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1.5 bath. Then we went to a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. With a full basement, 2-car parking, much bigger place.
Awesome.
So it was good. So I figured, okay, he was paying $300 and I was paying $300 plus utilities, and at the new place it'd be $315 and $315, and he'd get his own bedroom, own bathroom. It was all great. So it was a good deal for both of us. Well, we weren't there a couple months, and his buddy from work said, "Hey, I'm looking for a place to stay. Do you know any of apartments?" And he goes, "Let me ask my roommate." So he asked me, he said, "You think Dan could move into that extra bedroom?"
Right.
I'm like, "Yeah, $315, and we'll split the utilities." So my $630 mortgage went away. My utilities went to 1/3 for 4 years. So basically I lived for free for 4 years just by having a couple roommates. Now that was before the word house hack was ever invented.
Right.
I didn't know any better. I just figured, well, all right, well, he'll help me pay my bills.
We got an OG house hacker up in here.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. So when you did this, were you just saving up a lot of money to do your next thing, or what did it allow you to do?
Well, I didn't have much of a job back then. I was making $18,000 a year, so there wasn't a lot of money to begin with. So it helped me to. Well, I bought Flyers season tickets back then. I still have them after 39 years now.
That's awesome.
So that was one benefit there. The other thing is I didn't really have to worry about payments on things because those guys were paying it for me. And then I was able to save up some money because I wanted, as everybody when they buy a house, well, like, when you're in the phone book, like that movie with I don't know, one of the comedians, he goes, I'm in the phone book. Well, I was looking through the newspaper back then for my name in the newspaper to see that I bought a house, because that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I look in there and I'm opening up the paper and it says, buy a Pocono house for $50,000. I'm like, well, I don't have any payments on anything else, so
you bought a Pocono house.
So I bought a Pocono house with some buddies, and bought out the first guy the first year, the second guy the second year, the third guy 18 years later. And now I know myself, but that house cost $61,250 for a 5-bedroom house on a lake. So now I own that property free and clear. My payment on that was $250, but I didn't have a rent payment. I didn't have a mortgage payment because my buddies were paying it for me.
Gotcha.
So it allowed me to get my second house that much quicker 1 year later.
That's amazing. Yeah, I know house hacking can be a great tool for people. So I appreciate you sharing your story about it and how it just kind of happened.
Yeah.
But like, hey, if you want to get intentional about it, you can make it happen, and we can help you make it happen.
It also gave me the ability and confidence to know that I could do it again and again and again. So at that point, I started buying more properties, and
it was like a low risk way to get started.
A low risk confidence builder is really what it came down to.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you didn't really have to do a lot of renovations to the place?
No, it's new construction.
Perfect. So, living in new construction for free, paying $130 utilities.
Yeah.
And then you buy a Poconos house.
And I still own that house.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what did it do? Turn into a rental eventually when you moved out?
Yeah. So when I said they lived with me for 4 years, that's when I found my girlfriend, fiance, now wife of 35 years, and we kept that property.
She didn't want to live with a bunch of dudes?
No, the dudes left at that point, but it did work out. But she actually had taken, for continuing education for her job, she had to take some classes. So she actually took an investing in real estate class. So she's technically the one that got me started in that.
Yeah.
And then we moved, bought a new house, still had the rental property, and we were there a year, and I got laid off because I was the biggest piece of overhead in a really bad market back in 1991.
Right.
And my wife said, that's the best thing that could have happened to you. And in the end, it really was a good thing because I was making very little money in a job rather than being an entrepreneur. And then we started buying more and more properties.
I think that's a good point because a house hack gives people hope that aren't making a ton of money. Yeah. They could potentially live for really low cost and then get started on their real estate investing journey like you did. And now you've got a lot of paid off rentals and you just kind of show up for fun. But I know you help a lot of people too, so we're really happy to have you.
Hey, my pleasure.
Awesome.
All right, buddy. Good.
I hope Scott's story helped you understand how this can happen in real life and the implications that it can have for the rest of your investing journey. It's a great thing, I think, for young people to do. Sometimes older people have more kids and more overhead and things like that, so a live and flip can be a lot better of an option for them. But I think a lot of times younger people that can handle roommates and things like that, a single unit house hack is always a great idea because you're going to probably have roommates anyway. If you can't get started on a house hack, sometimes your parents may help you out, just maybe co-signing that loan, that kind of thing, so you can get started. A lot of parents will want to help their kids do stuff like that, and I've seen that plenty of times. But if not, you can always hustle, save your money, get a great loan, and go ahead and get yourself a multifamily or a single family that you turn into a house hack. Okay, let's move on in the course. Next we've got what's the advantages and disadvantages of doing a live and flip.